So I'm making the assumption that you've all got a basic knowledge of Slack. And I know I haven't seen Ethan, you in there yet, but I know Janine and Wilma, we've seen you in there. So what I'll do is just run through, I'll share my screen and we'll run through the specific components of the Better Business Network Slack channels. Now, is that big enough for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Okay, cool. So just as a very quick overview, on the far left-hand side here, we have a list of icons, and these are different workspaces. So I have multiple. I've got one for Enriched Horizons. Obviously, there's Better Business Network and various clients of mine. So every time I have a client who uses Slack, I'll join their workspace, and that's how we share information and communicate with each other. Obviously, the one we're focusing on today is the Better Business Network. But if you ever get lost and you can't find the network, if you've got multiple other Slack workspaces that you're part of, just have a look on the left-hand column here, and it's the one with the Better Not Stop logo, or Better Business Network logo is for us. Within that workspace, we have what are known as channels. And we've created, Tom, Hannah, Kate and I have created a series of channels that will change over time. And the purpose of the channels is to have a specific function. We'll run through those in a little bit more detail, but just as an overview, on the left-hand side here, you'll notice some of them will have a little padlock icon and some of them have a little hashtag icon. Anything with the hashtag icon is open access for all 37 Better Business Network members. If it's got the little padlock icon, it means that it's a private group, which is accessible to some members and not others. So if people are B Corp certified or becoming B Corp certified, we have a specific B Corp channel. Leadership is for Hannah, Kate, Tom and myself, and then we've got our accountability groups at the bottom. So if you're in an accountability group, the reason you can only see either Team Blue or Team Green is because the other one is private for the other group. So you should all have access to these hashtags. Now, as we create and change channels, sometimes they update automatically in this list, and sometimes they don't. If you at the top see where it says more, if you click on more and go to channel browser, it will give you a list of all the channels that you have access to. If you've joined that channel, it will have the little tick and it will say joined next to it. If it's a new channel we've set up that you're allowed access to, but you haven't joined, it will come up with a little icon on the left that says join this channel. And you click on that and it will then be added to your list on the left-hand side. So if you're looking at this list and you're not recognizing one or two or three of the channels that are in there, go to more, click channel browser, and just make sure that you've joined all of those channels that you're able to.
Ben, sorry to interrupt, but on the phone, it's not the same. So I'm just looking on the phone trying to find channel browser.
I'll run through the phone separately.
Okay.
Like lots of these apps, it's designed as a web browser and then has been adapted later to be a phone app. So you can do all of the basic functions on a phone app: message, phone call, video phone call, upload documents, etc. But you can't do lots of this admin. You'd need to log in to the desktop app, make the change in the desktop app, and that would update your phone app once you've done it on the desktop app.
Okay, thanks.
As well, under this more function, super helpful. Quite often we get asked, can I have a list of the members, the contact details, the photos, the names, the information of all of the members? If you go to people and user groups, again, under this little more function, it will list all of the members who are part of the network. And if you remember when you first signed up, we requested that everyone use their first name, second name, and put their email in. This is so that we can search for specific people. Like if you have your business name in there only, and people are searching for you as a person, they won't find you. So everyone's name should be here and some form of contact, whether it's a phone number, an email address, or both. And as we have more and more members joining through the cohorts, we should end up having 200-300 members or so more. You'll be able to search for everybody under here. So if you're looking to connect with a specific person and you can't find them chatting in any of the groups, you'll find them here. Finally, under more, if you know someone at some point has uploaded a super cool PDF or a document or an image, something that you remember seeing, but you can't remember where it was posted, who it was posted by, or when it was posted. If you go to File Browser, again, it comes up here with every document, picture, PDF, Excel that's ever been uploaded into the Slack channels that you have access to. So again, if you're looking for something someone has posted, someone has uploaded, but you can't find it, go into more and go into File Browser and you'll find it in there. Whilst we're still on this top bit, I'll just run through some of these are super helpful little shortcuts, again, to finding things you may have read somewhere in one of the channels, but again, you can't remember where you read it or who posted it. This Threads link I use all the time because I'm part of all these conversations and I lose track of who said what when. Threads opens up every conversation in all of the channels in one newsfeed type platform, LinkedIn, Facebook style. So you can scroll down on a linear sort of on linear posts, and you can see under news and events, Becca posted about the success she had. Under looking for, Janine, you answered one of my questions. And I responded to you again on there under coffee chat. So this compiles and pulls all of the channels together into one news feed for all of the conversations that are going on. So if you can't find where someone posted something in a particular channel, go to Threads and just scroll down until you find that particular conversation, and then you can join it from that Threads function. I find this super helpful to keep track of everything.
Ben, just going back a step,
yep.
I always struggle with where to find the link to even get onto here. So when you go to Slack, it's not a matter of just logging in with your own email. You seem to need to know the network name.
Okay, so then the network name, I'll post that in the chat function as well. Once you're logged in and you have the workspace on your Slack, you should never need to log in again.
Oh, okay. I always seem to, and I always have a problem finding the link. Interesting. All right.
Okay. Do you use the Slack app or do you go into the web browser?
I primarily use the app to communicate, but whenever I want to log in on my web browser, it's like I can't remember the link, so I just give up.
Oh, curious. I'm just going to stop sharing for a second and I can post in chat. So this is the URL to log into the Better Business Network, and then whichever email address you've got registered to the network is the one that you'll use to log in.
Okay, so you'd never go to slack.com, but you're saying even if I
do, yeah. It's a very clunky way of doing it. Using the Slack app is, and as it comes up here, is the way Slack was designed to be used. And once you're logged into Slack, or you don't have to log in and log out of different workspaces, depending on who you're talking with, which client, which network, etc. You simply just click on whichever workspace you're wanting at the time.
Okay, I can see now that it says download Slack for Mac OS. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, so that's what you'll want, and you'll have to download it from the web browser. As soon as you've downloaded it as an app, you can just log into the app and it will remember your login details, so you don't have to keep putting them in.
You're talking about on a web browser now?
No, on the app. So you can only download the app from the web browser. Once you've downloaded the app, you should never need to go back into the web browser again. You should be able to do everything from the app.
Well, that's interesting because that's what I've done as far as I know. But then you're explaining things today and you said you have to be on the web browser to see certain things. But then I don't have the link handy. So then
sorry, it's not the web browser you need to be on, it's the desktop app. So you've obviously got a phone app and a desktop app.
Okay,
the desktop app is what Slack was originally designed for. So it has the most functions. It's got more functions than the web browser, and it's got more functions than the phone app. So if you're using the desktop app to make these changes, you'll find everything you need in there.
Okay, now that's clearer. Thank you.
No worries. So before I dive into the specifics of what goes in each channel, etc., I'll just note the difference between channels and direct messages. Apologies if I'm teaching you to suck eggs here, but it is possible to direct message individuals within the network. So if you wanted to have private conversations, or you're planning client work, or you've got a specific question for a specific person, you can message them in direct messages. Some people who have already contacted you will be in this list already. If you're looking for someone specific, you can click the plus button next to direct messages, and it will come up with a search box at the top, and you can just put in here or begin typing the name and you can find who they are. So Ethan's in there, Tom's in there, or two Toms are in there, and Wilma I know is there because we chit chat already. So you can contact anyone who's a member of the network just by searching for their name. Again, it's where it says direct messages. On the right hand side, there's a little plus. Click on that plus and it will bring up this search box, and you can search for anyone who's in the network. You can at the top as well. So as we were in threads, you can click on all DMs. DM is direct message. Click on all DMs and it gives you that option again to search for someone up here. Ignore Slack Connect. This is a business function that allows a business to join another business's workspace. Because you're all individuals logging in from your own email addresses, we don't need and we don't use Slack Connect. So you can forget that one. The only other thing that's super helpful at the top here, again, if you know you've been asked a question or you're part of a specific conversation, is mentions and reactions. So anytime someone tags you in a post, and I'll talk about tagging in a moment in one of the channels, you can see anytime you've been mentioned and anytime you've posted. So anytime you've reacted to something, anytime someone mentioned your name, you can keep track of that under mentions and reactions. I don't find it as helpful as threads, which is the sort of public conversations. But if you know someone's asked you a question somewhere in one of the channels, again, you can't remember who asked you or where they asked you, you can find it under mentions and reactions at the top here. Outside of those bits, the general function of Slack and the way we've set it up is to have these various channels. The idea being, in theory, that it's easier to navigate than only having one massive feed of all the conversations compiling on each other in one channel. So book club, for example, does what it says on the tin. If you've read or people have read inspirational books and they think it's worthwhile sharing, we just pop these suggestions and ideas in the book club for people to then decide whether or not they want to read that book. Coffee chats, general chit chat, water cooler kind of conversations, no specific function except just to have that contact with everyone. Free resources. This is designed for people to post about amazing free resources they find. So if you come across something in workshops or meetings or through your day job you think would be interesting to share, that are free of charge. So, there's no membership fees, there's no subscription, there's no payment. We add those in here so that people start having this sort of repository of free resources. And these free resources will also be uploaded into the member portal once it exists. Tom or someone in his team will come in here and will pull all of this information out and pop it in your member platform as well, so that you don't have to keep trawling through this free resources channel to find whatever it is that you're looking for. Impact Fund, this stays quiet for 3 of the 4 weeks a month, and then in 1 week, hopefully it goes crazy, but certainly we get a lot more engagement. As Hannah posts who our recipient will be for our Impact Fund contribution of the month, at the moment it's only £100, but that's building up and up, hopefully to £1,000 a month plus over sort of the coming months. And we simply invite you to vote on who you think the charitable recipient of that month's donation should be. Once the deadline is closed for voting, it goes quiet for 3 weeks, and then we reopen it again the following month. The way we've been doing this at the moment is having a different person each month decide who the 4 or 5 recipients would be. So we had Hannah do one, Trey's done one, and at some point we'll start opening it up to Better Business Network members as well. So you can have a bit of a vote of who you'd like to see receiving contributions to. But that's a conversation for a different day. For today, just know that Impact Fund channel is where you can vote on who our charitable partner recipient will be.
Ben, before you leave that section, I recall when you first started doing this, there was confusion around how to nominate.
Yeah.
So could you explain the reaction versus the text?
Yeah, I mean, in a dream world, you'll notice that we've got a little symbol next to each of the recipients, which corresponds to a little symbol that Hannah puts up at the bottom here. So the easiest way to vote is, if you wanted to vote for kids on top, you would click the kids on top and your vote goes through. However, we don't mind if you do what Tom did, which was add the symbol to the bottom, or even write WOCAN with a tick. We understand those votes still count, but ideally we'd have everyone click on their favorite icon.
Thanks for explaining that, because I remember the first time I saw an emoji, I thought, I haven't got time to go searching for that emoji.
Exactly. Hence why we do it as this kind of poll. And there's only 38 of us at the moment. When we have 300 members, if 200 members are writing and doing, we've got this huge list of who's voted for what, we'll miscount for sure. So at the moment, it's not such an issue, but as the membership grows, we'll start only using the votes that are cast in these icons, and you simply just click on the icon.
Thank you.
No worries. Intros, this remains quiet, as you'd expect, for 3-4 months between cohorts. As the next cohort comes through in September and October, hopefully this will go crazy again as everyone introduces themselves. But it is quite useful if you can't remember who a certain person is within the network, what they do, who they work for, etc. You can go into intros and scroll up, and if that person introduced themselves when they join the network, you can just find out a little bit more about them in there. So again, it will be pretty quiet until September, October, and then as the new members join, that should get a little bit busier. Just to check, does anyone have a hard end at 9:30? Do we have an extra 10-15 minutes or so?
Yeah, I've got a hard end at 9:40.
Okay, I'll speed through this bit then, because it's more important for you to ask questions than me to run through these. Looking for does what it says on the tin. If you're looking for a particular service, support, app, doesn't matter. If there's something that will help you and or your business, and you don't know where to find it, or you need a bit of help, if you throw your suggestion in looking for, as staff of the Better Business Network, Tom, Hannah, Kate, and myself will actively look to try and find a solution for you. But I know that other members as well, again, the more members we have, the more information, the bigger the network will have, the more information we have available, and people will be able to help with their own answers as well. So yeah, if you're ever looking for something to help you in your business, just pop it in here and support. Member offers is designed to offer special membership rates, special discounts, special privileges from your business to Better Business Network members. So Wilma's had an open day or two and has more open days coming up, and she's inviting members of the Better Business Network to join those open days. It's not open to the general public, so it comes under member offers because it's something that's specific for members of the network and her personal contacts. So again, if you have an offering that you would like to send out to the network, you would pop it under member offers. News and events is probably our busiest channel, which is great because the whole point of setting up the Better Business Network was to have these events and have people joining and engaging with different workshops. Anytime we're hosting a workshop, we being the Better Business Network management team, will always post it in news and events. I will always send a reminder. I'll always send a Zoom link. So if you're not sure what's on the calendar, what's coming up for a given day, what's coming up in the next week in terms of events, you'll be able to find it under news and events, and somewhere in here, that information will be there. Finally, social share is a newer channel that you may not yet have access to. So again, if you go up to more and search for the channels, this is a great one for people who are putting out social media posts and want engagement with those posts, shares, likes, ... Pop your post in here, blogs, pop the post and the information in social share. And as a network, we can then help to push that social media post out through our own channels as well. I think the only thing I'll quickly mention before I open up to questions is, and I can see Janine, you've got this on board already, is tagging people. So by hitting the @ key and starting to type someone's name in there, @Tom, for example, we can directly engage with someone who will then get a notification pop up on their phone. I get an email as well. So if there's a specific person you're trying to get hold of, if you tag them, it will ping them with a notification that they're being engaged in a particular conversation. And I think that's it in terms of the nuts and bolts. For whatever time you guys have left today, please feel free to fire questions through, and I'm happy to try and problem solve any challenges that you're having.
I just wanted to say thank you. The big aha for me, because I found it quite intuitive once I'm in the app.
Yeah.
But just understanding that when you say app, you meant desktop app. I've just downloaded it and closed it and opened it, and it's just transformed everything. Because
okay,
the problem before was trying to get into the web and not knowing the link and thinking, God, how would I find that?
Yeah, and as I said, it was Slack designed this software to be driven through the desktop app, not through the web browser. So you can do a lot more through the app than you can. The phone app, again, I can't remember the specifics of what you can and can't do. You can definitely message, direct message, post, tag. You can have all of your channels. You can join conversations. All of that you can do in the phone app, but you can't add channels, check threads, etc., etc. It's more like a Facebook or a WhatsApp sort of messaging app.
Yeah,
on the phone.
But I think it's possible you were saying it, but the big clarification for me was the web app, not the phone app. Because whenever I've heard you say app, I'm like, well, I'm on the app. I can't see that.
The desktop app. Yeah.
So clearing that up was gold. And I'd recommend you introduce all new members to this. It's amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we'll have this recording and we'll throw it out to everyone when they join, and I'll do different live refreshers as and when people need.
Yeah, Ben, I managed to cut off my email notifications. I don't know how to get back to them. I was on the phone app and it said, oh, well, we've stopped your emails because we don't want to notify you twice. And now I don't know, I didn't really want that to happen. How do I undo that?
On the top right hand corner, if you click on your little person icon and go to preferences.
Yeah.
Under here, there, notifications right at the top, notify me about all new messages, direct messages, or nothing. And it will give you the option to send notifications to mobile devices as soon as I'm inactive. So your phone number, you'll have to have registered your phone number, obviously, with the app. As soon as you're offline, so you go out of the desktop app or the web browser, it will ping you a notification based on what your requested notifications are.
Okay.
So again, on that top right hand corner in the desktop app, you'll find that here. Okay. Just a note, actually, whilst I think of that, this little green dot means that someone is online. So in one of the apps, not necessarily helpful, massively useful day to day, but you may have noticed that we sometimes write @channel,
yes,
or @here when we're engaging with people. @channel engages and will send a notification to every member, whether they're online or not. @here will only engage people who are online. So if you can see someone's online and you're trying to just get the attention of people who are already here for a quick response, you can do @here. If you're trying to get hold of the entire network, you can do @channel. All we ask is that you have discretion when you do @channel, because we've got 38 members in 3 different time zones who will get a notification in their email and their phone. So if it's a question like @channel, what time is the workshop today? 38 people are going to end up with a random question. So we only use it for wide broadcasts of information that we think people will need access to straight away.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but just one thing I thought I'd mention, because I don't know if you've used it before, Ben, but it seems like an interesting option to potentially use as the network expands. But in the notifications setting that you were on a minute ago, there's a bit about keywords.
Yep.
So, for example, there, that one thing, when we've got 300 plus members and so on and so forth, it may be that, there will be conversations happening that, it won't necessarily be possible for everyone to keep up with. But for example, if you wanted to write in marketing or something that's more specific, so that, if you don't happen to read through everything on the free resources or in the coffee chat or even the book club, because those things go, but maybe that you want to keep an eye out for books on travel, for example. It's just a little thing that, I think it explains it there. It will show a badge. So I personally haven't used it, but I noticed it the other day and thought, actually, that could be very useful when, as the business expands, as the network, expands.
Yeah, definitely. I wrote tent in there for someone like Becca, tent share. Anytime someone uses the word tent, in theory, it's going to be relevant to her business. Wilma, we could put coaching in there or something. And anytime someone mentions the word coaching, you'd get pings to say there's a conversation about coaching going on, etc. So yeah, no, it's a great idea. I might even try it out for a few weeks.
That's what I was just thinking myself.
How did you get to that, Tom?
Again, right hand, the icon in the top, under preferences and under my keywords, and you can choose your word in there. This is also where you update how you would like to be notified about messages, etc.
Sorry, my the icon on the top was covered by the chat box. Could you just show me again now that I can see the full screen?
Yep, so the little icon at the top
Okay.
and preferences.
Oh, I
Click
see.
on preferences and it's under my keywords.
Okay, nice one. Nice. And you do a hashtag in front of it or just the word?
Just the word and a comma. So marketing, comma,
I'll give that a
donation, comma, book, comma, and each comma will separate the code that will then flag that particular word.
nice, nice. And then there seems to be a bunch of features you can set up. Different
There's
sound.
all sorts, yeah. I mean, if you have time to explore, you can change colors and settings and all sorts of things in here, but that's more of a personal visual preference, etc.
Okay, and there's the email notifications there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. I've got to go, but thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, if I'm always around, you can, now you know how, send me a direct message. I'm always happy to answer questions on Slack and how to use it, etc.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone.
No worries. Thanks for joining, Janine. And Ethan, whilst we've got you here, and I know you're obviously brand new, fresh face to this particular workspace, are there any questions you've got that might be intuitive whilst we're online?
Yeah, so my question was going to be, in each individual chat, is it possible to search within them rather than using the keywords?
Yeah, at this box at the top where it says Search Better Business Network. You can find in Social Share, which is the channel we're in. If you go to Book Club and you can't remember the name of the book, or you can remember the name of the book, but you don't know when it was posted, Let My People Go Surfing. It will come up with Let My People Go Surfing is a must read.
Right,
So yeah,
perfect.
right at the top, this search bar. And if you want to, you can, you can go to, you don't have to look within a particular channel. You could do, let's do marketing again. Just search marketing. You don't have to search marketing within a particular channel, and it will come up with all of those responses about marketing, etc.
All right, perfect. Thanks.
Great.
Oh yeah, the only thing I didn't mention actually were these little emoji icons. Sometimes it's nice to engage with someone without having to write a response, or particularly if you're using the phone app and you're kind of on the train or on the move. You can either do nicely done, which is always there and a bit boring. You can also click on find another reaction and choose something exciting like a dancing banana. It's just a nice way if people take the time to post about something and you want to show support but quickly, as soon as one person has posted an icon, you can then, if you want to, just click on their icon to add another vote to it, which is even quicker than looking for another one yourself.